Wonderful, wonderful. It's the time right now to enjoy the beauty of chemistry. How are you, everybody who is watching this program? I'm very happy to have you, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all national and international students into these fantastic programs of learning the beauty of chemistry. My name is Olenjolai&Nekinyi. Simply call me Olenjolai. I thank God by His own grace, He has called me and gave me a gift of teaching. So I'll be a teacher who is going to teach you the beauty of chemistry. So stay tuned and get prepared to enjoy the beauty of chemistry. I'm a Tanzanian, and I'm doing these programs specifically by using the curriculums and the syllabus of the United Republic of Tanzania. I'm a national teacher right now. I'm not just a teacher of any kind of the school, maybe any kinds of the local or maybe private or government schools. I'm a national teacher who has deployed myself from any kinds of the employment. And I'm doing these programs in order to help and to teach. I don't know everything about chemistry. I'm doing these programs to teach others what I know. I know small portions of chemistry, especially for the Form 4, Form 3, Form 1, and Form 2. So I would like to welcome you once again. And before I go into too much details of this this introduction, I would like to welcome you firstly into one of our online schools that called TANZANIA Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, we have our official YouTube channel where you can access all our previous contents and even our present and future contents. That's called the Tanzania Online or Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. So the next question, we are here to solve problems. So I know that you're a student, you are ordinary secondary students, and possibly you are encountering so many problems on learning science subjects such as physics, chemistry, basic mathematics for ordinary. And right now you are a pre-Form 4 student, whether you are doing the QT or qualifying test, or you are receiving the exams, or you are a school candidate, or you are a private candidate. So regardless of your situation, welcome. Here we are to solve your problems relating to your process of learning and mastering chemistry for the Form 1 to Form 4. So stay tuned and expect good news, because I have a good news for you. Whether if you're a parent or a sponsor or a guardian, then please share these informations and invite and tell your kids or your sons and daughters to take advantage of these contents in order to change or to be transformed from the state where they are to the next level. So, what the vision we have in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai, which is in abbreviations we call it TOOSO. So this is the vision. I have an assignment from God to train and teach all ordinary secondary students by using different teaching aids, teaching techniques, teaching approach, and teaching methodologies to teach you how you can extract knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from the classroom instructions in chemistry, physics, basic mathematics, and combine it with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that I'm going to teach all our students on how, from the Word of God, that I'm going to teach them to extract it from the Word of God written in the Holy Bible, in order to solve real-life problems. The main objective of TOOSO is to teach you to think differently and think outside of the classroom instructions or classroom teaching to solve real-life problems, because that's the main objective of education. The main objective of education is not to have certificates, it's not to have maybe titles, it's not to have to be popular, it's not just to please yourself, maybe in your community or in your family, you're first students to maybe to graduate the certificate secondary education examination. That's not the main objective of education. The main objective of education is to get knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, and convey that information to figure out or to find the solution of real life problems that the community, your community, my community, our nations, our continents are suffering from it. It might be maybe problems of water, because water is all about chemistry, because water, it contains triatomic molecules, or triatomic molecules, 2 atoms of hydrogen and oxygen, that's all. So if maybe there's a problems of just the hard water, so we taught you how you can convert hard water into soft water. So human beings can benefit on that. But remember that some of the hard water is beneficial biologically to other living organisms. That's just an example. So you have to think, I'm a product of what I'm teaching you, or I'm a product of this vision myself. Right now, I'm not doing an exam maybe I'm not doing an exam, but I'm solving a real life problems that you are suffering or you're encountering, and even your children's of the children's are still suffering, because this content will benefit present and future generation. So afterward, I would like just to take you into another point. How can you register yourself into our online institution, into also? How can you register yourself? That's a very important question. Has to be in your mind. How can you register yourself? Ask your neighbor, how can I register myself into also? So I have few announcements, and then we are going to start our session. So these are the few steps that you have to follow within a minute to accomplish. So registration to also. So remember that to also, it's abbreviations of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. The first step, if you don't have an email, then we ask you to create it or open a new email. So open a new email. So it can be a Yahoo email or it can be a Gmail at the first step. The second step, we ask you to search, to sign in, not to search. We ask you to use your email to sign in YouTube, where you can access later on if we have our contents in Instagram accounts, then we'll let you know. YouTube by your email. So your email will give you access to sign in YouTube. The third step, we ask you to search to also. Don't write the word to also, but write this word: Tanzania Online O-Level Circuit School in square bracket Olenjolai. So search to also in YouTube. Afterwards, the first step now, you see the icons, mean that the software buttons, which are the national flag. This is the national flag for Tanzania, for the international students. Then click this one. Once you click, you are already in the TOSO school, or you are already in TOSO school. So you see a toolbar, horizontal toolbar, which contains video. This is home, videos, playlisting. This is channel, this is community, and this is about. So these are festive letters of those words. So I will tell you just in a minute why did I mention this horizontal toolbar. So the next step, we ask you that when you watch at the bottom, at your right hand side of at the bottoms of the right hand side of this program, of this video you're watching right now, you'll see a software button, which is inside of it. There's been written subscribe. We ask you to click it once. Okay? Click these buttons once, and then the text will change into subscribing. The background color will change, and soon after you subscribe, the icon of the bell will appear. Click the icon of the bell only once. You'll see 3 options. Choose the options of all. Then you have registered yourself permanently. So it means that right now, when you inform for maybe in next year, you'll be repeat, possibly that you want to repeat chemistry. So there's no need for you to register yourself. Maybe you are registering yourself in the first term, or you are registering yourself during vacation. There is no any other registrations into also in our official YouTube channel. And in our official YouTube channel, you access all the contents for all the topics of chemistry from Form 1 to Form 4. And for the Form 4, it means that we'll be covering all the topics and you can access them, and you have to stay tuned. So you need only to register yourself once. There's no need for you to register several times or every time. So register yourself once, then you'll get notification. Why should you subscribe? In order for you to get notification, because we are adding new video in our YouTube channel that's called Tanzania Online Ordinary Second or Level Circuit School in square bracket Olenjolai. And I want to tell you that we have a vision to record more than 600 high definition videos for training and teaching you the beauty of physics, chemistry, and the basic mathematics for ordinary secondary students. So you have to be an active student every day. Make sure that you have an access to internet, and then you have to make sure that you visit or you join or you visit Tanzania online or level second school in order to learn the new concept of the chemistry. The fifth stage now, you will find so many videos from the of basic mathematics, chemistry and physics from Form 1 to Form 4. So we like to give you guidance on how you can access our contents easily as possible. Okay? So the next stage that we ask you that to click, look this horizontal toolbar which is written on video playlist. Please click the text or these buttons which is being written playlist. Okay? Once you click, you will see all the playlists we have created into also. Okay? Don't search to also, it's not there. Remember that this is abbreviations. Okay, instead of writing Tanzania online or level second school in square bracket Olenjolai, I just wrote to also. So when you click this playlist, if you want to access all the videos of the topic in the first chapter of chemistry Form 4, that's called the compounds of metals. So you have to go and search the playlist which has been written compound of metals. This is just I'm writing in abbreviation. If also you want to access all the video for the chemistry Form 4, we have a playlist which is written chemistry Form 4. So you can access all the videos from the first chapter of the chemistry Form 4 to the last chapter. And I want just to remind you the name of these chapters of chemistry Form 4, so for you to enjoy the contents, okay? So if you do remember that we told you that we are going to cover 10 topics. The first one is called compounds of metals that we are going to teach you. The second one is called the hydrogen chloride and chlorine. The second one is called the sulfur and sulfuric acid. The fourth one is called nitrogens and ammonia. The fifth one is called the carbon. The sixth one is called hydrocarbons. The seventh topic is called alcohols and carboxylic acids. The eighth topic is called soil chemistry. The ninth is called the pollution. And the 10th topic is called the qualitative analysis. So the piece of information we want to tell you in every topic or in every chapter, we are creating a playlist, a particular playlist where you'll find the collections of all video from the session 1 to the last sessions of that topic. So that is our advice. So you expected to have 10 topics. I'm going to teach you 10 topics, and you expect to have 10 playlists, which the collections of the related video of the 10 topics of 40 of the Form 4. Okay, then I know that you'll enjoy our content. So you're thinking how you can share these contents with other students who are studying chemistry in a secondary school in Rovuma. Other students who are studying chemistry in a particular secondary school in Mara. How you can share with them? So you have to click the icon that you see at your right hand side, at the bottom of right hand side, that click the buttons which is written share to share the link. So you can share this link to friends, okay, to all of your friends through via social media. So when you say social media, you can share this content through Facebook or through Instagram. So you can share through Facebook or through WhatsApp, through Instagram, through Telegram, through Twitter, through email. So you can share these contents so you can enjoy it together. Later on, in the middle of this session, I will give you some other 2 important announcements for you to take advantage. So let us go into today's session. So let me do the quick review of what I told you in session 2. So we are in departments of chemistry. The subject is called chemistry. These contents are for the pre-Form 4, Form 4, QT students, reciters, private candidates. And I'm teaching you chapter 1 that's called compounds of metals. And we end sessions 330 metals hydroxide. I taught you session 00, session 1, and session 2. Okay? So session 1, session 2. All right. So that's very important. Okay, this is session 3. Okay, believe that. Okay, we had session 1, and then we had session 2, which is all about metal oxides. Okay, so we have so this is session. Okay, session 3. Okay, metal hydroxide, but I will cross check it That's called metal hydroxide. So quick review. Let me link the previous session. Quick review of what? Of session 2. Okay, quick review of session 2. So in session 2, I just taught you the concept that we call it. First of all, I taught you, I built the foundations of what the meaning of oxide. Then we say that an oxide, what is an oxide, if you don't remember. Because if you don't remember, you can access our contents. What is oxide? Oxide is a chemical compound that contains at least one oxygen atom and other elements in its chemical formula. So I gave you some examples of oxide. Is nitrogen oxide, and then you have nitrogen dioxide. Then, for example, we have what? Nitric acid. All of these are oxide compounds. Okay, but also we have sodium hydroxide, sodium oxide, etc., etc., etc. So again, I taught you to define metal oxide. So simply, metal oxide is the combinations of the metal. Okay, so it's a compound made by a metal and an oxide. So an oxide means that oxygen element. Afterward, I taught you about preparations of what? Of metal oxide. Methods, taught about methods. Examples, first of all, I taught about examples. Simply, I taught about methods of what? Of preparation of what? Of metal oxide as the subtitle of the session. So I gave you some examples of what? Of metal oxide. Okay, so you have to remember, however, that we just need this one. I taught you the first method of preparing metal oxide, which is called the direct method of preparing what? Metal oxide. And then I taught you another method, which is indirect method of what? Of preparing metal oxide. So in case that you need to access or you missed this session, don't get confused, just visit Tanzania Online O-Level Second School in Square Bracket Olenjolai, and then search for session 2, which is written as what? Metal oxide. So you can search metal oxide. Okay, metal oxide, then for the form 4. Okay, for the form 4. Okay, form 4, and then in Square Bracket Olenjolai. This is my name. So that is what we taught you in the previous session. Let us go into today's session. So today we have metal hydroxide. So before I teach you metal hydroxide, I want to build the foundation and teach you in a different way. If you have never been taught and understand the concepts of hydroxide, then I want today, at the end of these sessions or in the middle of this session, you'll get it means that you'll get good news in such a way that you'll understand this information and keep it for the rest of your life, because you need this concept when you join into advanced education. In any combinations that need advanced chemistry, you have to refer to this concept in the topic that we call inorganic chemistry. So we have the term hydroxide. So here we have a first question for this session. What is hydroxide? So you can pause the video. What is hydroxide? You can pause the video and then ask yourself the meaning of the word hydroxide. Okay? So what the meaning of hydroxide? So I found basically 2 definitions, and I want to present to you. Ladies and gentlemen of the Form 4, hydroxide or class 12 in some of the countries. Okay, hydroxide is a negatively charged, okay? Is a negatively charged molecule. It's a negatively charged molecule made up by what? Made up by one oxygen. Made up by one oxygen bonded to one hydrogen atom, to one hydrogen atom. So that means of what? Of hydroxide. The word hydroxide, this is the negatively charged molecule. First of all, it's a negative charged molecule. So it's a molecule, it's not an atom. It's a negative charged molecule made up by one oxygen bonded to one hydrogen atom. So before I give you the molecular formula of hydroxide, let me give you the second definition that I found from another source. So we can also define the term hydroxide as what? Hydroxide is a diatomic anion, Hydroxide is a diatomic anion. Hydroxide is a diatomic anion with chemical formula. With chemical formula of OH, and then with its negatively charged ion that consists of an oxygen and a hydrogen. And hydrogen atom held together by a single covalent bond and carries a negative electric charge So hydroxide is a diatomic anion. This is a diatomic anion with a chemical formula of what? OH. That consists of an oxygen. So this consists of an oxygen and hydrogen atom held together by a single covalent bond. So this held together by a single covalent bond and carries a negative electric charge. That's the second definition. What is hydroxide? Hydroxide is a diatomic anion. It's a diatomic anion. It's a diatomic anion with chemical formula of this one. That consists of what? One oxygen and the hydrogen atom held together by a single covalent bond and carries a negatively electric charge. What does it mean? Listen carefully. So hydroxide is a diatomic anion with a chemical formula of one atom of oxygen. And this oxygen, because you know that its atomic number is 8, so it has 2 electrons in its valence shell. So it means that it's missing because the electronic configurations of oxygen is 2, ratio 6. So it's missing. So it has 6 electrons in its valence shell. So it needs to share 2 electrons. So how it is going to share its 2 electrons? So it cannot share 2 electrons with hydrogen because hydrogen has only 1 electron in its valence shell. So what happens? So it means that the oxygen will form a covalent bond with hydrogen by sharing the 1 electrons of hydrogen, and the 1 electrons of oxygen. So here we have covalent bond. But oxygen contains or need to share 2 electrons in order to reach its octet state of 8 electrons in its valence shell. So because they shared 1 electron with hydrogen, right now oxygen the valence shells of oxygen contain 7 electrons, and the valence shells of hydrogen contains 2 electrons instead of 1, because 1 electron has been contributed by oxygen. And the 1 additional electrons of hydrogen has been contributed by by hydrogen. So, but oxygen still need 1 electrons. So that's why we have a negative charge. So the negative charge, it means that this is electron receiver, electrons lover, right? Hydroxide. We are going also to cover hydroxide in case of organic compound. So that's why we say that consists of an oxygen and the hydrogen atom held together by a single covalent bond. So this is what we call the covalent bond, and it carries a negative electric charge. So this is going to equal to a negatively electric charge. Negatively electric charge. Wonderful. Please pause the video and copy these steps of registration of the OSO and share to any students, because you have to subscribe into the channel. You should not subscribe into the playlist or into the video. No, just to subscribe to the channel only once. And you can access more than hundreds videos in our channel by just a single subscriptions for you and for your advantage. So I believe that you've finished to copy, and I believe that you are going to put in practice for your advantage, for God's advantage, for my advantage, for your community advantage, and for our beautiful nation's advantage, because I know if you understand chemistry, you are going to apply to solve mankind problems. Okay. So now we know what is hydroxide. Then we have now a second term. So this is the first term, terminology. So we have a second term. Now we have the word metal hydroxide. Metal hydroxide. So ladies and gentlemen, you can pause the video and think how you can answer this second question. What is metal hydroxide? What is metal hydroxide? Because we know metal hydroxide, the definitions of metal hydroxide is not the same with the definitions of hydroxide. I have gave you the foundation. Hydroxide has been a vocabulary for you, but metal, you know metal and non-metals we taught you in chemistry of Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. So what is metal hydroxide? Before even I give you examples of hydroxides. Okay, hydroxide compounds. So yes, hydroxide compounds. Okay, so what is metal hydroxide, ladies and gentlemen? So metal hydroxide is a chemical compound. So metal hydroxide is a chemical compound. Is a chemical compound. Is a chemical compound formed by combination. So formed by the combination of what? By the combination of metal and the hydroxide. So I found also two definitions. So simply metal hydroxide is a chemical compound. So this is the compound. In chemistry, we love compounds. How about you? Do you love compounds? Would you like to call your first one compounds? So this is the chemical compounds, ladies and gentlemen, formed by the combination. By the combination of what? By the combinations of metal and the hydroxide. But not any metal can combine with hydroxide to form a compound. There are some few metals which can combine with hydroxide to form compounds. Okay, so this is one of the definitions. Other sources define metal hydroxide as in this way. Metal hydroxide, ladies and gentlemen, metal hydroxide is the chemical compounds. So this is a chemical compound. So this is the chemical compound containing what? Containing metal cation. Containing metal cation and the hydroxide anion. So that's the second definition. Metal hydroxide is a chemical compound containing metal cation and hydroxide anion. Because the compounds is made by cation and anion, but depends. Some of the compounds are made by only anions. It's difficult to find the compounds which is made by cations itself. But anions, they can form a compound. For example, nitrogen oxide. Here we have cations, we have only anions, okay? Okay, but that is all about covalent bond. So these are the two definitions of what metal hydroxide. In case you have any question, don't hesitate to ask your question in comment section of this video. You have to keep enjoying the beauty of compounds of metals, and you have to keep enjoying session 3, the metal hydroxide, for the rest of your life. And you have to think how you can take this information to apply. So ladies and gentlemen, let me go to number 3. Examples of what? What are the examples? Examples of metal hydroxide that we are learning. Examples of metal hydroxide. What are the examples of metal hydroxide? Okay, so examples. Okay, some examples of what? Some examples of metal hydroxide. Some examples of metal hydroxide. Some examples of metal hydroxide are this. The first example is we have sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide, this is NaOH. Okay? So the molecular formula is that one. The second one is sodium hydroxide. Is what? Potassium hydroxide. So potassium hydroxide formula is this one. Okay, so that's a molecular formula. Then the third example is what? Is lithium hydroxide. Okay, lithium hydroxide. So this is lithium hydroxide. Okay. The first compound, metal hydroxide, is called the calcium. First example, calcium. It's called the calcium. Okay. Calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. So calcium hydroxide is this one. This is molecular formula. Okay, calcium hydroxide. Then we have again the fifth example of what? Of metal hydroxide. And this fifth example of metal hydroxide is called the barium. Say with me. This is the new compound, new metal for all levels. It's called the barium hydroxide. Say with me, barium hydroxide. So barium hydroxide, here we have this one. So barium hydroxide. Okay. Then we have the sixth example. We have also another metal hydroxide, which is called beryllium. Beryllium hydroxide. So it's called the beryllium hydroxide. So beryllium hydroxide. So this is 2. That's a molecular formula. And the seventh example, beryllium hydroxide. Then we can have also magnesium hydroxide. So magnesium hydroxide's molecular formula is this. This is the molecular formula or the symbol of magnesium, and this is the anion. So this is cation, this is anion. So these are the 7 examples of metal hydroxide. 7 examples of metal hydroxide. Those are 7 examples of metal hydroxide. Okay. These are 7 examples of metal hydroxide. Okay, so I believe that you're enjoying and you are receiving this good news, okay, of about the hydroxide. So because you are receiving it, I believe that you are absorbing and meditating intensively, and that's what I advise you to do. Okay, so hydroxide are strong bases compounds. So we say that in metal hydroxide or in some of the books we just call hydroxide, are strong. These are strong base, not weak base, a strong base compounds. A strong base compounds. Okay. That's one point. Okay. So according to the syllabus of chemistry for ordinary secondary education in Tanzania, we have to teach you what the means of hydroxide. We have to teach you what the means of metal hydroxide, and then we have to concentrate on how you can prepare in chemistry lab metal hydroxide. That's the focus, and later on we can focus on few aspects, the types of metal hydroxide. Then you will have already built the foundations in your mind about metal hydroxide. So the next part is preparation. Say with me, preparation of what? Of metal. So whether this can be chemistry laboratory preparation or it can be industrial preparation. Okay? It can be chemistry laboratory preparation or industrial preparation. So we have preparations of what? Of metal hydroxide. Okay, so we say that metal hydroxide compounds, the metal hydroxides, can be prepared. So these can be prepared in chemistry laboratory. Okay, chemistry laboratory by using either directly or indirectly method. Either directly or indirectly method. So you can use either directly or indirectly method, and we are going to teach you both of these methods or preparations of metal hydroxide. So you have to stay tuned. Because even also in metal oxide, we taught you how you can prepare the metal oxide by using direct method and by using what? Indirect method. Okay. So that's what we taught in number 3. This is, let's say, number 4. So you can say that this is 4.1. So we say that direct method of preparing metal hydroxide. Okay, of preparing metal hydroxide. How is metal hydroxide prepared by using direct method? So this is the point. Metal hydroxides can be prepared in laboratory by using direct method. Okay, by using direct method. By using direct method on adding what? Adding metals directly. The means we call direct method. Directly adding metals directly in water. That is. So metal hydroxide can be prepared in laboratory by using direct method by adding, so let me just use this, by adding metals directly in water. That's all. So that's the meaning of what? Of direct method. So simply, we say that if we need metal hydroxide by using direct method, then here we have to take metal or a metal plus what? Plus water. So metal plus what? Metal plus water. So metal hydroxide by direct method, you take a metal, for example, you take potassium. For example, if you want to prepare sodium hydroxide by using direct method, then you take sodium, you add directly into water. So sodium reacts with water and forming what? Sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. If, for example, we want to prepare potassium hydroxide, then we take metal, we take potassium as metal, we add in water, then potassium reacts with water, and then forming potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Again, if you want to prepare lithium hydroxide by using direct method, so we take the lithium as metal and add in water, so lithium reacts with water and form lithium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Then you have to balance the chemical equation. Again, you can prepare calcium hydroxide by using direct method. How? You take the calcium metal and add in water, calcium will react with water and form calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. You see how chemistry is beautiful and it's simple, it's not difficult. Again, how you can prepare barium hydroxide. So barium hydroxide you can prepare by taking barium, by using the direct method. You can prepare barium hydroxide by taking barium as metal and add in water, and barium will react with water to form barium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. The same process for beryllium hydroxide, the same process for magnesium hydroxide, and also the same process for other metal, but there is a condition which I'm going to teach you right now. Okay? Right now. Okay? So there's a condition that you have to take consideration whenever you want to prepare metal hydroxide by using direct method. What the condition? What the condition? That's a very important question. What the condition? The condition is, we say that we can only prepare metal hydroxide by using this method with the consideration of 14. With considerations, it's only possible for the metals above hydrogens in reactivity series. Okay? So before we discuss that point, we want to just to say that the direct method is suitable for preparation of what? Of soluble hydroxide. So if you want to prepare soluble hydroxide, because we have soluble hydroxide and insoluble hydroxide, and in other words, in chemistry, we call this soluble hydroxide as what? Alkyls. So the direct method is suitable for what? For preparations of what? Of soluble hydroxide. So if we want to prepare insoluble hydroxide, then direct method is not an efficient method compared to a direct method, right? I believe that you're enjoying these contents. But another point you have to note is, I know that the direct method become very interesting and simple for you for metal hydroxide and even for other compounds of metals that you learn. This method of direct method means that we are talking about direct method. This method, we mean direct method, is only possible if the metal added directly in water is above hydrogen. Let me write in capital letter for you to note. In reactivity series. In reactivity series. Reactivity series. Otherwise, okay, series with exception of what? Of lead and the tin. I know that you don't know these elements, but you'll cover them in advanced, because in advanced level, in advanced chemistry, we teach you about the modern periodic, modern Mendeleev periodic table, which actually that contains more than 100 elements. You know the table, the periodic table, which consisting 20 basic elements. So lead and tin, these are the other elements in the modern periodic table, which contains more than 100 elements. So with exception, so only tin and lead deviate this condition. So this method, it means the direct method is only possible if the metal added directly in what? Added directly in water is above what? Hydrogen in reactivity series. So possibly, I'm not sure if you remember the meanings of reactivity series. So we spend a few minutes to teach you what the meanings of reactivity series. Okay. Because that's the principle you have to remember. Because the questions also can challenge you. Why maybe metal hydroxide of the metal which is below the hydrogens in the reactivity series cannot be prepared by the direct method. So you have to give the reasons. Yes, the direct method is only useful or is only possible for the metals which are above what the hydrogens in reactivity series. Okay, so that's the concept. So before I teach you about reactivity series, because that's the next concept right now, this is the fifth concept. Beautiful. It's called the reactivity series. So this quality, I would like to teach about reactivity series. Say reactivity series. So think about that. What does it mean about reactivity series? Very important series in chemistry, and especially in inorganic chemistry, and especially in compounds of metals. Very important series, and I'm going to teach you. And I think there is a song, particular song of arranging those elements. I kindly forget, but I will ask God to remind me, because we used to sing a particular song, so you can remember that arrangement of elements. But they are less than 15 elements in that arrangement. So you should not claim. You have to understand the sequence and even the positions in the periodic table. Okay, so I would like just to give you one announcement. God is a sponsor of this program. God, my God who is in heaven, the living God, is a sponsor of this program, is a founder of this program, is everything, is the one who deserves all the praise and glory. I know that you understand, you enjoy, and possibly because you are Form 4 students, you can condemn yourself that you could get these contents during your Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, but you should not confuse the give God thanks even for this information. We have a vision to record more than 600 videos. It's very expensive to record one video and prepare and make it public to you. If it's not God who has called me and gave me clear instructions on this business, I could not offer these contents free of charge. But your Father who is in heaven has already paid me on these programs. That's why I offer these contents free of charge in order to support so many ordinary secondary students who like to take the career or who need chemistry, basic mathematics, and physics in their future vision. Biology is on the way, so you have to keep on praying. Biology is on the way. We're gonna teach you biology also in this program. So that's the concept. But in case you feel that you want to offer our card, you are freewheeling thanksgiving for this program in order for you to be a part of running costing But it's not mandatory. We can send the freewheeling Thanksgiving in order these free contents to be given, to be recorded, edited, published, transmitted, advertised, to reach millions of ordinary secondary students in a year. So you can offer your freewheeling Thanksgiving. So the telephone number 0759745331. And I want to tell you, even 10, even 50 Tanzania shillings that you are going to offer, it will be used effectively to pay the running cost for this program so that you can get the contents in high quality without any kinds of the delay, without any kinds of the procrastination. So you may do that. In case you want to do bank transaction, if your parents that you're watching this program, you're warmly welcome. This the contents I dedicate to all ordinary secondary students in Tanzania. That's why I'm using the syllabus and curriculums of Tanzania prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education. So in case you want to do bank transaction, just go to the descriptions of this video in order to see how you can offer. So the bank, you can have the bank account, the bank name, as well as you can. So may God bless you, and thank you for listening me in this announcement. So you have the terminology we call the reactivity series. Say with me, reactivity series. So we have the fundamental question. This will be question 5. Okay? So question 5, this is question 4. Okay? What is reactivity series? What is reactivity series? That's the question that we have. What is reactivity series? Okay? What is reactivity series? Or in other books we call it electronic activity series. Okay? So reactivity series in chemistry, the activity series, we say that is an empirical or calculated, and structural analytic progression of a series of metals arranged by the year reactivity from the highest reactive to the lowest reactive metal. This is a proper, simple definition, compact definition. What is reactivity series? Reactivity series is an empirical. So it's an empirical or calculated and structural analytic progression of a series of metals arranged by their reactivity from the highest reactive metal to the lowest reactive metal. Don't underline it. I just underline it to show you the keywords. What's the reactivity series again? Reactivity series is empirical or calculated or structurally analytical analytic progression of series of metals arranged in the order of 40 or arranged by their reactivity from the highest reactive metal to the lowest reactive metal. That's the meaning. So in simple language, reactivity series is arrangement of the metals in the order of reactivity from the highest reactive metal to the lowest reactive metal. That's a simple definition. Okay, can I give you, or you can say that reactivity series so you say that is a arrangement of what? Is arrangement of metals, right? From what? From the most reactive metal, from the most metal to the lowest reactive metal. So you don't need to cram. You just have to understand what the concept and then you keep moving. Right? That's the meaning of what is of reactivity series. So let me give you the how do we arrange these metals in the order, right? So how we arrange them? How do we arrange these metals? So if you finish to copy, in case you didn't finish, you can pause the video and then you copy the notes. So then you keep moving as long as further. Okay. So let me give you the arrangement of these metals. Okay, so the activity series. So this is the activity series. So the activity series, okay. So let me just write what. So we start with potassium, and symbol is K. Then the next one, the next L is the most reactive. So this is most reactive. Most reactive. So if you go down to the listing, reactive. The second element after potassium is sodium. And this sodium, its symbol is none. The next element in the activity is calcium. And this one is this one. The next element is magnesium. Magnesium is Mg for this. The next element is aluminum. So this is what? Aluminum. And the next element is what? Is carbon. So its molecular formula is K. The next element is zinc. Then its symbol is Zn. The next element is iron. Its molecular formula is Fe. This is the molecular formula of iron. You taught extractions of iron. So you remember the chemical question of extracting the iron. Iron. Okay? Then the next element is tin. Its formula is Sn. The next element is lead, because I know the arrangement of the symbols, but you don't know the name of some of the symbols. So lead is capital D and lowercase p. The next elements now we find hydrogen. Find hydrogen. So the symbol is H. And the next elements we find copper. So copper, so this is C. Next element, the last element is silver. and the symbol of silver is A. So how many elements are there? So remember that this is least reactive. So as we go down, so silver is the least reactive, potassium is the most reactive. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So these 13 elements formulate the basic or the fundamental reactivity series of the metals. All of these are metals and acting as metals. So what you have to understand of this condition, from the condition there, the direct method is suitable for preparation of water. Okay, the direct method is only possible if metal added directly in water is above hydrogen. So it means that this group of 40 of metals, with exceptions of 40, with exceptions, so remember that, up to here, actual, but with exceptions lead and dirty and tin. So except lead and tin. So from here to here. So you see that this one, so you say that these elements can react with water by directing method to form metal hydroxide. While these other metals, so I say that here direct method is not possible. One of the difficult topic in my process of learning, chemistry is compounds of metals. It has been a difficult topic because I wanted the sequence of information, and unfortunately, at the beginnings of learning this topic, I didn't get good arranged notes or systematic notes so that I can take advantage to learn and organize the information sequentially. So it has been a challenge by that time, more than 12 years ago. But now it's not a challenge. But remember that this is all about informal education. What I'm teaching you, when I was in Form 4, I didn't understand as how I understand right now. But I've been reading different sources or different books of chemistry, explaining organic chemistry, and I came to understand how can I take the advantage of this stuff. In case you have any question about metal hydroxide, don't hesitate asking the comment section here. Look at the comment section below there. And then ask your questions as well as you can. But again, if you understand, give us feedback. Please give us feedback, because we are not with you, so that you answer us yes. We are not physically with you. So please tell us in the comment sections that I've understood what you have taught me, right? So make sure that you don't forget that. As how I've insisted you, take the advantage, this advantage to subscribe into our channel right now. Okay, so let me give you examples of 40. Examples of 40 of metal hydroxides prepared by directive method. So we'll show you the equation. So we'll give you these examples by using the chemical equation. So I have 4 examples. The first one is a metal hydroxide, which is called calcium hydroxide. So we have calcium, we add it into water, and then we form a product which is called the calcium hydroxide. Plus what? Plus hydrogen gas. This is in aqueous state, and this is liquid, and this is metal. This is solid. So let us balance the equation. We have one atom of calcium, one atom of calcium. We have 2 atoms of hydrogens. Here we have 4 atoms of hydrogen. We have 1 atom of oxygen. Here we have 2 atoms of oxygen. So we have to balance by putting 2 number of moles. So right now on the left hand side you have 4 hydrogens. You have 2 plus 2 hydrogens. So 4 hydrogens on the reactants. And then you have 2 oxygen on the reactant side and 2 oxygens on the product side. Right? Then we have the second example. Because calcium, remember calcium, it's above the hydrogens. That's why it can form metal hydroxide by the direct method. Again, we can take out potassium, which is the most reactive metal. So we have potassium, we react with water, and then we form what? Product, which is potassium hydroxide, and then plus what? Plus hydrogen, but this is this, and this is aqueous because it is basic. Okay? This is solid, and this is liquid. So let us balance the equation. So if you balance the equation, here we have 2 atoms of hydrogens. Here we have 1 atom of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen, 1 atom of oxygen. So the only unbalanced number of atoms is hydrogen. So here we have to balance it by 2, and this one we balance it by 2. So you have 2 atoms of potassium, 2 atoms of potassium. We have what also? Okay, so excuse me. So also here we have to balance by 2. So you have 4 atoms of hydrogen, and here we have 4 atoms of hydrogen, and then we have 2 atoms of oxygen, and then we have 2 atoms of what? Of oxygen. So this is potassium hydroxide prepared by what? By direct method. Another most reactive metal is sodium. So we can take sodium in solid state and then let it react with water. Okay? And form what? And form sodium hydroxide. Plus what? Plus hydrogen gas. So on the left hand side we have 3 number of atoms of hydrogen, while here we have 2 atoms of hydrogen. So you have to balance the equation because the equation is unbalanced. So to balance it, so what the difference? Okay, so you have to balance this one by 2. So you have 4 number of hydrogens. Also you have to balance this one by 2. You have to balance this one by 2. 2 atoms of sodium on the reactant side, 2 atoms of sodium on the product side. 4 atoms of hydrogens, 4 atoms of the hydrogen. 2 atoms of oxygen, 2 atoms of what? Of oxygen. Then lastly, so we can have aluminium. Okay, aluminium react with what? React with water. Okay, react with water. And then form what? Form aluminium hydroxide plus what? Plus hydrogen gas. This is aqueous state, this is liquid, this is solid state. So let us balance. So on the reactant side, the number of aluminiums, the number of atoms of aluminium is balanced, but the number of hydrogens is not balanced because on this side we have 5 hydrogens, while here we have 2 hydrogens. Okay. The number of oxygen, we have 3 oxygens on the product side and we have 1 oxygen on the reactant side. So to balance, we say that here you have to introduce 6. So you have 12 number of 40 or 12 hydrogens atom, and here we should have 3. So we have 12. So this side we have, because 2 times 2 it is 12. So here we have what? 3 times 3 it is 9. 9. Yeah, 3 times 3. No, this is 2. 2 times 3 it is 6. So to have 12, we still need other 6. And then, okay, so we have to make sure that in here we have 3. So you have, so now the number of hydrogens is balanced. On the reactant side here we have 6 hydrogen, and here you have 6 atoms of hydrogen, so you have 12. Now this side you have 12. Here we have 6 number of oxygen atom. Here you have 6 number of oxygen atom. So they are balanced. Here we have 2 number of atoms of ammonium. So here also we do have 2. So these are the examples of chemical reaction. Okay, examples of chemical reactions of metal hydroxide. Examples of chemical reaction. Chemical reactions of what? Of metal hydroxide prepared by the directing method. Right? Okay. So he said we can prepare metal hydroxide by using direct method, and also we can prepare metal hydroxide by using direct method. So you have two methods, direct and indirect method. Okay? Okay. So the second, that's number 5. This is number 6. Let me teach you, ladies and gentlemen, about indirect method, and then I will leave the homework for you. Indirect method. There are so many applications or uses of metal hydroxide. Indirect method. So he said that so indirect method indirect method can be used to prepare insoluble metal hydroxide. Insoluble metal hydroxides and what? Called insoluble metal hydroxide, which are forming what? So they form what? So insoluble metal hydroxide, which contain precipitate. So soluble are not prepared by this method. Okay, used it to prepare insoluble metal hydroxides. Okay, that's the point that you have to remember. So how this method works? So he said that reacting metal nitrates, so we prepare by using other compounds, reacting metal nitrates or reacting metal sulfates, which we'll discuss in the future session. Reacting metal nitrates and reacting metal sulfates, okay, etc. Can reacting with what? Can reacting with sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide solution to form what? To form metal hydroxide. To form what? To form metal hydroxide. For metal hydroxide. For metal hydroxide. So reacting metals reacting metals nitrates, metal sulfates, etc., etc., can react with what? So this can react with sodium hydroxide solution to form metal hydroxide. Okay? So example. So with this indirect method, we just prepare the metal hydroxide indirectly from other compounds, right? So for example, we take the metal nitrates, or we take metal sulfates, we react with sodium hydroxide, which is kind of, just we call it double displacement, to form metal hydroxide. That's the point. So example, zinc, because you know now the symbol of zinc nitrates. So zinc nitrates, so the symbol for the nitrate is this one. Zinc nitrate can react with what? Can react with sodium hydroxide. Okay, this is in aqueous state. This is physical state, is aqueous state. Then to form what? To form sodium nitrate. From sodium nitrate plus what? So to form sodium nitrate, then plus what? Plus zinc hydroxide. So zinc hydroxide. So this is the reactants, and this is sodium hydroxide. This is the zinc nitrate. This is sodium nitrate, and this is what? Zinc hydroxide. You have to ensure, because in chemistry we're just using the chemical symbols of the elements and compounds to write the chemical equations, and you use also symbols, the abbreviations, to write to the physical state of what? Of the compound. So this is in aqueous state, and this one in aqueous state. So if you check this chemical reaction, then is the number of atoms balanced? No. So here we have 2 atoms of oxygen, 2 atoms of hydrogen. So here we have only 1 atom of what? Okay, this for the nitrates, no problem. No, even nitrates is didn't balance. So it's a kind, you have to work hard on balancing this. But the best way, we have 2 atoms of what? Of sodium, and then here we have 2. Yeah, so 2 atoms of sodium, 2 atoms of sodium, 2 atoms of nitrogen, 2 atoms of nitrogen, 6 atoms of oxygen, plus 2 atoms of oxygen make 8 atoms of oxygen. And here we have what is 6 atoms of oxygen, plus 2 is 8 atoms of oxygen. Here you have 2 atoms of hydrogens, and here we have 2 atoms of what? Atoms of what? Of hydrogen. Okay. Wow. So the next system, or the next point that now I want to give you the last example and then leave the homework for you, because I gave the promise that in this program or in our online institutions we are teaching our students to have active learning, because we know that the normal regular sessions is just 40 minutes, but if you have 2 sessions for the Form 4, it makes total of 80 minutes. So we'll be trying our level best to the size of the video to take almost 80 to 85 minutes around there. So the second example, this is the first example. The second example, we can have what? We can also have maybe another. So this is zinc hydroxide, okay? So zinc hydroxide, another insoluble. Okay, zinc hydroxide. Okay. Okay. So I will check for the second example, because we have to make sure that we form insoluble. So this is insoluble hydroxide. Okay, insoluble hydroxide, which is kind of what of zinc. Okay. I think that one is silver. Okay. So you can take silver sulfate, and then react with sodium hydroxide. Both are in upper state, and then form what is a product, which is what? Silver hydroxide. Silver, yes, does it use what? I think that it has two ions, if I'm not mistaken. But I will counter check it. Yes, I think that's silver. Silver, I don't remember that is silver 2 ions, or it contains what? So I don't remember. I will check it. Okay, so this is, I think that is 2 ions. So then plus what? So silver, and then so you have what? Sodium sulfate. So because I'm not sure if what? I'm not sure that silver has ionic state of 2. I don't remember, so I will keep checking. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a time that I have to leave homework, which in abbreviations is HWork, homework 3. And this homework 3, it's example 3. 1, 2, yeah, example 3. Example 3, okay? So example 3, we have these 2 questions. Class 5. Class 5, metal hydroxide based on their solubility. How many types of metal hydroxide do we have in chemistry based on their solubility? Based on their solubility. That's the first question. The second question, very simple questions if you are a senior student. Then class 5, because this is the principle, it's a rule that have been given by God himself, that I have to leave a homework for you as senior students to concentrate on this homework. So class 5 metal hydroxide based on their reaction, metal hydroxides plural, based on their reactions with what? Based on their reactions with what? With acids and what? And bases. And bases. Now the question. Make sure that you do this homework. And once you do this homework, you send your solution in the comment section. Later on, I will give you the email, the official email, that you can just, because I know that writing the chemical questions in the solution, in case that you want to provide an example like this one, writing this chemical question in the comment section, I know it might be a challenge for you to write this subscriptive and just having these brackets, a little bit challenge, I know. But later on, I will share with you the method, the digital way that you can send to me your homework, and I can formulate even the visible groups that you can have a more group discussion. But currently, just use the comment sections to give me feedback and also to ask me questions. Before I end this session, I have a good news for you once again. In Tokoso, we do have also Tanzania Online Ordinary Library. In this Tanzania Online Ordinary Library, we like to equip our students with relevant materials that can simplify their journey of learning the beauty of chemistry. The first reference books are these 2 books. Okay, very important reference books. I recommend them, but you can also have numbered. So this is chemistry from 3 and 4 students books. So the good thing of these books have been prepared by using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania for the and this is the chemistry from 3 and Form 4. It contains all the chapters, all the 10 chapters of Form 4, and contains all the chapters of the Form 3. I think that's 8 to 9 chapters. So you can order this book, and also you can order this book. This is chemistry Form 1 and 2 students book. You can order, it's prepared by the TAYAI. And this book, actually, that you can order it in with the price of 15,000. So this one, you can order it in with the price, or with the minimum price compared to the local. In local shops, you buy this book by 18,000. But because I'm not doing business, I want to equip my students to go further as well as they can. This book and this book, I'm selling them, or just I will sell to you I'll sell to you with the same price. However, in the local shops, there's the difference in price, but I would like to sell it to you with the price of 17,000 Tanzania shillings only. No, 15,000 Tanzania shillings only. Shipping can cost you 5,000 to 10,000 in any regions of United Republic of Tanzania. But again, so these are the reference textbooks from Form 1 to Form 4. Again, you can order these review books. Okay, you can order these review books for 40 of chemistry. You can order this review book. You can order some number that I'm selling 40,000 Tanzania shillings. So you can review these review books. Okay, so the review book of 40 of ordinary level chemistry review. This one you can order it with the price of 40, with the price of 11,000. So you can order this one by 11,000, and you can order this book with the price of 40 of 10,000. So from 2 chemistry reviews contains question and answer from 2003 to 2019. And this one comprises questions from 2003 and 2019. So how you can order these books? You can, in case you order this package, there is a great discount. This discount that you are going to get, and you'll be having a chemistry department at your home, or a chemistry department, or a library of chemistry at your home. So how you can order these books? Very simple. Just send to me your demand. through this telephone number 0759745331. Just send an SMS. Don't make a call. If I need to call, or if I want to a conversation with you, I will call you. Send an SMS, because these phones you cannot access, or you cannot call me at any time. Right now, when I'm teaching, my phone is off, so you have to understand that. But send an SMS, I will find it, and I will meet your order effectively. And even if that the issue of transactions we do just in mobile transactions, and everything will be under high fidelity, because this is a work of God. So trusting is guaranteed 100%. But even yourself, you have to be trustful, because you can complain that Olenjolai is not trustful, but I'm trustful. And I've been taught by God for long times how to be faithful and trusty Him for the rest of my life, and be faithful and trusty to my students and even to the parents. So until we meet, I would like to invite you in session 4, when I will teach you about metal carbonates and hydrogen carbonates. So metal carbonates and hydrogen carbonates, that's the next session that I'm going to teach you. You have to make sure that you don't miss it. Keep enjoying the beauty of chemistry. Form 4, ask a question in the comment section. Remember to subscribe, like, share these contents. Just go to the playlist of chemistry, learn the contents, visit our channels of Tanzania Online or Level Second School in Square Bracket Olenjolai every day, during night and day. Reduce any kinds of the script that I don't have a competent chemistry teacher. Then you have to tell your soul and your mind right now, it's a time for me to do great or to do wonders in chemistry. So stay tuned. May God bless you and protect you until we meet in the next session. This is Olenjolai, a national teacher of chemistry Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, and also a national teacher of advanced chemistry Form 5, advanced chemistry Form 6. May God bless you. I love you so much, and keep you until we meet in the next session.